everybody. It's Friday morning and we're on a little road trip. Just crossed over Rhode Island border because we're headed to pick up a car. What do we got in the back there? Is that a trailer? Yes, it is. So we got a project car that I came across, and customer wants me to go up and look at it and possibly buy it. So I am driving up there right now, and when we get there, maybe we'll luck out, maybe we won't. I don't know. So we'll see. So hang tight. All right, everybody. So just out of respect to the guy that I stopped at the house to buy this car, I didn't film anything at the house. And that's really out of respect. A really nice gentleman. So the car we went to go look at, and you might not know what it is. It's a 1960 Morris Minor. That is an English car, and they were produced from the 50s all the way up through, I believe, into the 70s. And it was the standard compact car for the British. So this car is a two-door, and it's already had a lot of work done to it. It is missing a front end, as you can see, that somebody did a complete frame underneath it. They already started mocking it up with motor mounts and an engine. The car is complete, and it is very solid, very solid. So as you can see, there are no floors, but the back has a 9-inch with some crazy ladder bar setup that somebody built, coilovers. Obviously it's tub. The wheels and tires are temporary. They're just for rolling. But I mean, other than a little surface rust here, I mean, this thing's solid. Even the bottom of the doors, it's crazy. All the glass is in the car. So, yeah, you can see it's a European car. Has European license plate area. So, but yeah, it's a new project. So we're on our way back from, picked it up in Massachusetts. So stay tuned, get some more video when I get back at the house. All right, my YouTube friends, got a little update on the Morris Minor. So finally got it off the trailer because it does not have a front end. So I needed help. Even though the car does not weigh a lot, I would say right now we're probably, I don't know, maybe 1,000 pounds. So let's take a little peek, talk a little bit. So 1960 Morris Minor. If you don't know anything about the Morris Minor, I talked about it earlier in the video. They were produced from 54 up to 71, model 1000. This is a two-door. Car is all original body panels, including the hood. Paint is not original, obviously. I believe the original color was this almost like a bluish green, like an aqua or a teal. Yeah, there's a better picture of it right there. So that's the original color. We are not going to do an original color. So what the gentleman before me, he bought it, and yes, it's sitting on my patio. It fits, I'll show you. It fits in my little patio area. Look how small it is. I love it. So, someone previously had put a frame on the car. So it has no floor, obviously. And they did a back half. So I measured up. The rear was done properly. The frame rails were done square. So that's good. The only issue was here in the front. If you notice, that frame rail is here. That frame rail comes here. So I guess what he started doing was modifying this side for a different style exhaust direction, because originally he built it with this style so he could do more of a fender exit. So that's where the project stopped. I don't really care because we're going to be cutting this entire frame section out of the car, and we're putting in a Mustang 2 front suspension. So So basically, this car is going to be 1974 to roughly 1978 period correct. The reason I want to do that is because this car is already what we consider tubbed. So they had already back half the car. Back half Pro Street cars were real popular after the gasser era. This car could have been a gasser, but it would take way too much to modify, and I really don't want to do that to the car. I like the style right now. I like how it has a bigger rear tires. I can put up to a 15-inch wide tire underneath there, which is going to be insane. I mean, this car is, I mean, the wheelbase is puny. Look it up, 1960 Morris Minor. The curb weight was 1,700 pounds factory with the little 4-cylinder that they came with. I mean, it's just a tiny little car. So, so the back half of the car was done previously. I'll prop this open. And I do not want to modify because I actually like it. So they did a 9-inch coilovers, and he did almost like a 3-link ladder bar. But it's more of a hot rod style. It's not a racing style because they are rubber bushinged. But this could have been something that was done like this back in the 70s. It's, you know, late 70s-ish. Not going to change it because it's already there. It is square. I measured it. So anyone out there that's going to comment and say, oh, it's butcher. Listen, they were building frames like this for many years before they started doing tube chassis. I'd rather have something like this because it actually would be more period correct. So it's what I want. It's how I'm going to build it. And just so you know, this car will be for sale. So all the original glass is in the car. Door handles, everything works. The previous owner had already put some aluminum panels in it. I do have window crank on this side and door handle on this side. That side, it is missing. He did not have the other ones. But as you can see, a lot's been already done, and then they kind of stopped. So what we're going to do, we're cutting the front frame section out. We're going to put a Mustang 2 frame section in the front. I've been measuring it, and it looks like the 62 to 65 Nova front clips would actually fit under this based on width. Because the biggest thing is track width. It is a narrow, small car. So the I don't know if you can see me. There we go. I'm just looking at the car. So yeah, I'm real excited about this car. So we're gonna do an 850 cage in it, and I am gonna go with a chromoly cage. I could go with mild steel, but it almost seems like it's not even worth it. With the price of steel these days, the chromoly and the mild steel, they're probably almost the same price at this point. So either way, it's going to be more expensive than it used to be. But I'm going to do a 8-point cage, but I'm going to give it enough room in here. Well, I'm sorry, an 850 cage, so that way the car could be certified if someone wanted to race the car. I do not plan on racing this car. This is going to be a car that is going to be a street-minded car, and it's going to be for sale. So that is the whole intention of the project. I love building cars. Don't get me wrong, this car is wild. I love it. I probably shouldn't say I'm going to sell it because I'll probably be a weirdo and keep this and sell something else. So who knows? I don't know. But everything's for sale. Simple as that. So I don't care what anybody says. I'm just amazed at the shape of this car, how it lasted and lived. And you can't find them. They're almost impossible. Look at the dash. I mean, yeah, it's gutted. Don't get me wrong. But, I mean, it has the original center gauge. Original key still in the car. And the key works the locks. That's the funny part. I believe this was an ashtray, but I haven't been able to get it to function yet. I think it swivels. Yeah, there it is. So, yeah, that would be a little ashtray. See? That's crazy. And then you push it. That's cool. Yeah, so we're gonna do we're gonna put a cage in it. I'm not gonna do the cage because I am not a cage specialist. It would take me too long, and I would probably go through a lot of material with bending and incorrect bends and stuff like that. So I'm going to bring it to a facility and they are going to do the cage. He's also going to help me set up the front end. While it's up there, I'm going to grab a front end. We're going to mock it up, get everything square, and get it set. So that way the car will be on the ground when it comes back. It's easier to do that because the time that it would take me to do everything with all the projects I have going on, it's a lot easier, and it's just a better idea overall to have somebody else do it. I just can't. So he's already looked the car over. He agrees everything is fine. We're going to reinforce a few points in the rear. Obviously add the cage bars, but we're going to do the cage bars so they go kind of like way up high and along the body, the roof line right here. So that way they don't interfere with a potential back seat, because I really feel that you could still put a small back seat so you could enjoy it with maybe some kids. So I think that would be really cool. This is going to be a cool car. I'm actually looking forward to this. As far as drivetrain, because we're going with late 70s, it's going to be 350 or 327 small block Chevy traditional. We're probably going to do a tunnel ram. Everything's going to be, for the most part, period correct. I'm going to try to find as much parts as possible. And then the transmission, I'm really kind of leaning towards doing a stick. So I'd really like to do either a Muncie or a Super T10, which would be late 70s, period correct. So I just think the car would be awesome. But I don't want to do a full race setup. I want it to be able to be driven. So that's what we're keeping in mind. So make some comments, because I'm not sure on the body yet. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you guys think of the car. Share the videos. I appreciate everyone. And once again, this paint is not the original, but it is a cool look to it. It's like a faded kind of just, beat up. So I'm almost wondering, should we just clear coat the car? Give it like a satin clear finish, sand it down a little bit, clear it. As far as wheels, those are just for rolling purposes because they're not the correct width. You can see how far in they are. That's way too far in. But that's actually a nostalgic Krager rim that I want to try to go with. So it's either going to be a Krager rims and they're going to match, or we're going to do a original style spoke in the front and then a mag wheel in the back or whatever. So I have options. We're not sure yet. I just love the style of this car. But yeah, the motor setup, because we're doing the different frame and because of the ride height, the frame rails are going to have to come up way high because of the A-arm setup. I don't want to do a coil or a strut style front end. If I left the frame rails at this point, you'd have to do a strut style, which I really don't want to do because that's just too much race car stuff. It would not be something they would have done back then. The Mustang 2, which was your mid to late 70s Mustang, that would be the era of the front end that they would steal off of a car and modify it into this car. So there's a lot of little things, but we're going to see what happens and then go from there. But based on heights and measuring stuff, I would say the tunnel ram is going to be about a little ways up on the, by the time you're done with a scoop and everything, I'd say your scoop is probably going to be right about there. So it'll be about 8 to 10 inches up from the actual cowl. So that means that kick-ass hood that's an original is going to end up having a nice little hole in it. And I actually am fine with that because that's the style. So, all right, so that's it for this video. And next video, we'll have this thing in the works. I don't know how soon that's going to be, but I'm going to try to get it going as quick as possible. Try to find a motor next. That's my biggest thing. I don't want to spend crazy money on a motor and trans, so I'm going to see what I can find. So stay tuned. And of course, thanks for watching.